Hello and welcome back to Writer's Dream Coach. I'm Volker Möbius, German coach, therapist, and author. And today we're going to talk about what you can do when shit happens. Because it does happen, and because I always take my topics from things that happened to me, and it happened to me last week. So, stuff happens. Life happens. Unpleasant things happen. And the one thing we can really control, because you can't control life. You can't control other people, you can't control pets, you can't control circumstances, at least not completely. So stuff is going to happen. Going to end up in bad situations, unpleasant situations. Hopefully not life-threatening situations, because that requires another level of support than I can give here in the video, but what happens, happens. We can't control it. What we can control, and that's where the tapping comes in and the coaching and the therapy, is how we react to what's happened. Now, we haven't lived in modern civilization for longer than a couple of 100 years, and that is not enough to reprogram our genetic response, especially because there's no selection for it, because evolution works with mutations and selection. So we don't have a particular selection to become a calm, transcendent, peaceful kind of human being. So we default, if shock happens and a bad situation unfolds, we kind of default into our three major responses that are basically reptile brain, older than Stone Age, mammalian heritage reactions, which is fight, flight, and playing dead, freeze. Now, that used to help somewhat in the Stone Age. It probably used to help in the medieval times, but it no longer does now. Because the shit that happens is not necessarily solvable by fighting someone. I mean, punching. You don't solve things by punching anymore, rarely. I mean, hey, good for you if you can, but things don't usually get solved by punching people anymore. They also don't get solved by running away, and they also don't get solved by playing dead. I'm not doing anything. Doesn't work. What you need in these days in order to solve a difficult, unpleasant situation is your brain. The problem is when we get into the panic or fight, flight, freeze response is that our main brain, our creative new brain, the kind that only humans have, or maybe dolphins and some very intelligent birds, that part goes offline under stress. We literally can't think, which is bothersome if we end up in a situation where you need brain power to solve it. I needed brain power for the last 7 days to solve my unpleasant situation. I needed to work with clear focus through tedious tasks that required precision. You can't do that when you're in fight, flight, freeze mode. You cannot. It's as simple as that, because your main brain, your neocortex, is offline when you're in that kind of field of options. So the major thing is to shift our emotions, to shift out of panic, stress mode into creative problem-solving mode. That only happens if we manage to release fear and anger. Anger is the fight response, fear is the flight response, and panic is the freeze response, basically. So if we let go of that kind of emotion, we reopen our ability to think creatively. And listen up, writers, same for you. You need to release the stress in order to be creative. If you go into fear and stress because the story doesn't work, because you think, oh my God, I botched it, missed the genre, whatever, wrote 5,000 words for nothing. You need to rein in your emotions, your fear, your self-doubt, the shock of that realization. And you need to calm down, as hard as it sounds. I mean, I'm serious. It's hard when the shit hits the fan. But these days, we need to calm down and become the creative problem solvers that we can be, which is the one thing that sets human sapiens apart from the other species on this world, more or less. I mean, I would say crows are pretty good problem solvers, and dolphins are, but you know what I mean. We are the only animals who can think our way out of a situation. And in order to do that, we need to release fear and anger and stress. And I have not found a better method to do that than EFT. That's me. You know me. That's why you're here, because you're using EFT to quickly shift emotions. And I do mean quickly, in a matter of like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, maybe half an hour of focused work, you can change your emotion. You can return your brain power to creative problem solving rather than fretting around in nothing, in panic, as we are programmed to do, unfortunately. Give us another, I don't know, 50 million years and we might, well, 50 million is a bit, but hey, it'll take another 100,000 to turn into a transcended human being that does no longer have that kind of stress response. So we're stuck with what we have. We're stuck with the brain we have that Homo sapiens has at the moment. So let's use the tools we developed and get a grip on ourselves. Because we do need that brain power. So what you can do is you can just hold that point and take a breath. Move to the next one. Take a breath. This isn't even particularly EFT because we don't do any words with it, but what it does is it's an exercise that can most certainly reduce panic. It can most certainly reduce fear on the spot. This is none of the deep work that we can do with EFT and that I could do with you if you choose to work with me. This is an immediate stress response. It's like first aid for the emotions. And it'll help you regain that grounded and centered state that you need to become a creative problem solver. So, what you do when shit happens, you do your best to let go of the fear and stress and anger. You work to control your emotions first, before you do anything else. Settle your emotions. They are not bad. They are simply a signal telling us that, ooh, bad stuff going on. And once you release them, after they've left their message, and acknowledge them after they left their message, you can let them go. And if you allow yourself to be the wonderful creative being that we all can be, you settle yourself into problem solving, into creative, happy thinking, which goes contrary to the whole situation, I know. But that is how we solve things. That is the amazing way our brain works. So next time life happens and you want to fly into a rage or into a pity party or something, don't. It will feel good for a while, maybe, but it will in fact make it worse for you to control your emotions and thus the situation through problem solving. Works for every situation. It could be anything. You need your brain power. That is our human superpower. Problem solving brain, thinking outside the box, creative solutions. I'm wishing you lots of creative solutions. I want to leave you with a little question. What was your creative solution to a problem? I'd love to hear this. And please put it into a comment below because you will inspire others. Let's collect some creative solutions in this blog post so people who come later can have ideas, can be inspired. That would be awesome. And I don't even know what I'm going to talk about next week. So if you have a question, could be about writing, could be about life in general, stick it into the comments, send me an email. I'm happy to answer, and I'd love to hear from you. And until then, have a great week. Happy writing, and I'll see you. Bye.